You hear me, Janash?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. Someone wanted to know for Janash what it's like to become the community person for Realm.
I mean, it's really fun. Realm's always been a game that I fell in love with it before we ever even launched on Steam. I joined the team last April of 2018, maybe May. And I've just been really excited, about the game. And so I think we've added a lot of cool stuff. Obviously we've had some changes to design philosophy over the life of the game, but I've always been excited about kind of what we have coming up, and I stand by the team that has made the game. So we have a really active and cool and easy to get along with player base, so interacting with all of you every day is fun.
Alex, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I haven't met you yet. Do you want to introduce yourself and let everybody know what you do so that they can maybe ask questions about it?
Yeah, sure. So I'm Alex D'Alessandro. I took over after Kret. James left the team. He moved on to another project, and I took over as the lead designer. When I came on the project, I was kind of put on as like, oh, you're going to be doing world building stuff and thinking of new areas and new POIs. So it transitioned from that into general design. So I was working on Paladins before, and then I moved over to Realm.
Okay.
But it's been a ton of fun because the community is really passionate, and they are it's actually been a really welcoming community for Hi-Rez, which is really nice. And so I've been making certain decisions, but I've definitely taken the approach of listening to the community more and seeing what they feel is a problem in the game and trying to attack those problems.
Sounds good. And Peter, or Mad Magnus, whatever you want to call yourself. We'll start these guys in a second, guys.
I think he's still getting his.
Is he going to get set up? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. A question I keep getting asked a lot, and I've kind of already answered it. Maybe you can, Jane Ash, maybe clarify a little more if you can. People keep asking about stream snipers and hackers and what's being done. I already made a little comment about it. Maybe you can elaborate a little bit more if possible.
Yeah. So we've been pretty actively tackling that. We're working with the appropriate teams, our support team, and then external partners to do what we can. If you have any particular issues, please be sure to report them directly to me, and I will get that information to who needs to see it. But yeah, we are actively looking at it. I don't broadcast that because all it does is sort of give that glorification, right? But
yes,
yes, we are looking into it.
That's basically what I said, and I basically already said earlier before you guys even got in here that stuff is being worked on, and it's not falling on deaf ears. They are working on it, So also there was a so we can just get this out of the way now. I know there's certain things you guys can't answer, but supposedly there's a rumor that there was a leak that came out. I don't know if you guys heard about it. That somebody said that there's a third ability class coming out, and everyone keeps asking me about it. Are you guys able to comment on that?
No.
Yes, I told you guys I wouldn't be able to comment on that. I keep getting like a million questions about it, so no, they cannot answer that question. Oh, here's a comment for you guys. Positive feedback. Someone said, I totally respect their right to decline commenting. I'd actually really love for them to know that their game inspires me to create fan-made patches and class ideas. I truly love Realm. So there's your positive feedback.
Oh, that's very nice. Yeah, I mean, anytime people send stuff like that to Paladins, to Smite, and to Realm, so it's like we're totally open to always to the fan patches and balance notes, because people are just as passionate about the game on the outside as they are on the inside. So that stuff's great.
And we were curious, what's your current outlook so far on how customs have been going?
Like internally, how we feel like they've been going?
Yeah, because as a streamer, one thing people say is it does take quite a while. It's kind of hard to fill 24 people. So we were wondering how Hi-Rez felt about them.
So far, especially from people, certain streamers, right? Like some people can fill those customs pretty quickly, but yeah, there's definitely we've seen a lot of really good response, and some of our streamers had a really good viewership during some of the initial custom game creation. So the hope is that we can continue to kind of provide more custom support in the future.
You're talking about lowering the player count, right?
Y-
Like the
y-
required player count?
possibly loading player count, and then so I actually finally got to try Realm on my brother's Nintendo Switch, right? And there's something I noticed in there. You gotta do the tutorial mode, right? There is that small map in there. Is there ever a chance that we could see that in the game?
All right, I don't want to spoil the mysticism, but that thing is held up by twigs and paper. You couldn't play a game on that map right now. That's not how it's set up.
Let's not lower the count requirement. Let's grow the player base. That's coming from Idiot Mouse.
So the account requirement is actually in place right now to avoid, well, it's like, the worst case scenario is you have 1,000 games with one player in them, right? Well,
Yes.
now you're wasting a bunch of space on games that essentially are not actual games taking place. There's no like fun being had there. It's just people being in a game by themselves. So the 24 player count was a strategic decision made to ensure that we are giving people who can fill those lobbies the functionality to do it without risking having server space be wasted with games that are, just 5 or 6 people running around doing nothing.
What is the process like for recoloring a skin? Assuming it's easier than making a whole new skin, is there any possibility of doing skin recolors for default skins that can be put behind grindy achievements? For example, simply making the assassin skin pants blue and requiring 5,000 assassin kills to unlock it.
That is an excellent question, and it does not take long at all for the artist to do it, but there are more people involved than just the artist. It goes to different departments because to change that skin, the same character has to be re-rigged, which is not like you have to actually re-rig it, but you do have to reset the weights or copy and paste them. That takes about a half hour to an hour of time for the rigger. And the animator has to verify all of those things, and then has to go to the effects, and they have to verify it, and then it has to go to the patch for updates. So it's easy on the art side, pretty easy. Like just move the color slider over, and it's done. But it takes more people and more money to do that. Like when you start figuring more departments, more cost starts getting put into that.
Someone said, so if we find problems in games, would you want us to tag it to you guys or tell our Realm partners so it's not posted all over social media? Well, I mean, I think I can answer that one. They do have a report section in their Discord. I mean, you guys must get flooded with DMs constantly.
Correct, but I mean, it's all, the same common goal of making the game better. The best place to report issues is we do have the official Discord server at discord.gg/Realm Royale, and there's a bug report section. Our QA and our programmers frequently check that. They might not respond to every single thing that's posted in there, but it's definitely something they'll take a note of and, put it on the list for prioritizing to get fixed. I have a question for you, Glock.
Yes, sir.
What's a feature you think would be a cool addition to Realm?
A feature that I think would be a cool addition to Realm. It's funny. Someone asked me this the other day. I've always said, because number one, I like grinding. So like one thing for me, like number one, like I think the game's in a great state as it is. There's a couple things you could tweak, but I like achievements and like kind of like Idiot Mouse said, having like the skin recolors, like kind of so like someone sees that you have that special skin, like, oh, this guy's good or something like that. Just rewards for grinding and stuff like that. Right now, I think the custom lobby is a cool feature, but it's not being utilized enough.
Yeah, the idea is that going forward, we will be able to kind of make that more robust and give streamers and anyone like the custom game support that, at our high-end goal, the best we'd want to give is a lot of those different sliders to be able to make a really specific custom game. So that's the goal. We hope we can execute on it too. So we'll see.
Oh, here. I don't know if you guys can even say anything about this, but someone keeps asking, what are the plans for Realm Royale at HRX?
Right now, we don't have anything we're ready to announce. There probably will be some playable stations. We do know that much, but nothing we're ready to announce just yet.
Are you guys going to be at PAX West? Someone just asked.
Realm Royale specifically will not be. I believe a few members of Hi-Rez staff will be, but I do not believe Realm specifically will be.
Lil Jeff, are you talking about PlayStation? Because you said let people on console play with keyboard and mouse. Are you talking about
Talking
play with?
about mouse and keyboard support on console. Right now, it's not an option. I can bump it, but I believe there was some back end tech that needed to be integrated that wasn't ready.
Okay, everyone keeps asking about new ranking system. What new ranking system? You asking about what plans are for a ranking system? Is that what you guys want to know?
Yeah, because I think they're talking about the ranking system in its current state, how it is simply, words are hard. It's essentially just a win counter up to 50. Right now, I don't know that we have any explicit plans to change how the rank system works, but we are looking into better systems for progression for players. So that's something to kind of look forward to.
Are there any grassroots efforts for the community can do to help move along crossplay with Sony, like a petition? hold on. Once you probably know who asked that, but hold on. I'm gonna reiterate this. So everybody that keeps asking about the third ability slot, we've already got that out of the way. They cannot answer that. So, anyways, so you can go back to the other question.
Right now, I honestly can't think of anything specifically that players can do to move that along, and that's not really something I can speak to personally either. I just simply do not have any information, but if something should change on that front, we'll absolutely let everyone know.
I could talk about it. You can have a lawnmower.
You can have a lawnmower.
Yeah, because if you go to the lobby, that grass is really long. So while you're waiting for a game to queue up, you got a lawnmower and you just buzz that.
There you go. There you go.
Here's actually a really good suggestion, which we actually talked about a while back. Is when we were talking about people that are hacking or cheating, some of that. The suggestions for the actual, like me right now, I'm running this lobby. If there was a cheater in this lobby, that I can just kick him from the lobby.
Yeah, that's definitely on programming's list.
Yep. Like, yeah, I was pretty sure it was, but
it wouldn't be a full like GM access or anything, but definitely commands like that essentially allow you to remove problem players from games. That's definitely on the list.
You can ask questions, but
you can answer, we won't. Yeah.
I keep getting the whole. I keep getting the whole. What's the next Battle Pass theme?
Man, why would we tell you that?
That's what I was saying. I keep getting that question. Is there any plans of adding female and male skins to every class?
Yes.
There's your breaking news right there. I'm about to be the prettiest assassin in the game. Oh my gosh, guys. You guys was the engineer really loved that much? Is there any plan ever the engineer coming back?
I constantly hear about the engineer. That was actually before my time because I came on to Realm at Christmas.
Is there any chatter about the engineer possibly coming back?
No.
The annoyance in his voice is great.
I understand the appeal, and it's like engineer was a class that used to exist, so it's the easiest solution for everyone's request to want another class in the game. But I encourage the people who used to play when engineer was in the game to remind people why nobody liked going up against an engineer, or why it was the class that everybody played.
Well, I mean, I'll reiterate. I mean, I played back in that time, and basically people tend to forget, number one, that I actually played engineer for a while. I was still an assassin main, but I stopped playing it because it was absolutely way too easy to play. It was absolutely annoying to sit there and try and fire at the engineers in the air. So, what do each of you guys personally think would be the best feature to add to get new players to come to the game, and bring back old players?
That's a good one. I like that one.
Idiot Mouse is out here with them questions.
What do you think, Josh?
Everyone pushes it over to Jane. I say, hey, you answer.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they deal with a lot of the community feedback, what they want, and also the game design. Like, I'm on the art side, so like we really don't get questions like that much of what do you want art-wise.
They're reading chat. They know it's you, Idiot Mouse.
This question's more directed to those two, Alex and Gina.
Yeah, how about this? I will sum up the things that I have heard players request. All right.
How diplomatic.
So some of the things that I have heard requested over time, and I agree, I think they're good ideas, are new classes, right? A third ability slot, the engineer, but I don't necessarily agree with that one. I see you, idiot mouse. I see you.
I told you. I told you. He goes, stop saying names. They're gonna think I'm annoying. I'm like, he's reading chat, dude.
I want things like I want art changes, and not to change the look of the game or anything, but like as far as like the towns are concerned and the different cities you come into, like, and I don't want it to be something like Fortnite where it's a new game you come back to every time you open it, but like just changing up the environments a little and maybe some environmental events that get players ramped up to do an event or something like that. Like a town explodes or like a meteor hits it, like that kind of stuff, like something cool along those lines, but not that changes the gameplay.
Yeah, I'd like to see the map. Personally, I'd like to see the map reduced. I think it's a little too big for 100 players.
Yeah, a nice small map mode would be cool.
That's one thing I would love. And someone's made a comment about it is a suggestion that I had, was because a lot of the complaint you hear from people is like bots and this and that. We all know bots serve a purpose right now, obviously, but maybe making a mode where you has maybe maximum 50 players, or the map was smaller and no bots if you want to join a game with no bots. A pub lobby where you may not be able to get 100 players, but you probably get 50 players pretty quick.
Sure. Yeah. That's those are all good ideas. I know the one thing that we've worried about before is, the more queues you have, the higher chance you have of like splitting the player base. But some of those, that stuff can be figured out as well.
Is there a time frame for when the game is going to be out of beta?
Josh, you want to take that one?
Why are you throwing me to me? Immediately, I don't have an answer to that question.
Could you ask how big is their development team?
So right now, the number of people that are developing the game, we have a team of 60. It's like a combined team right now. So, but in terms of core team, around the 15-20 mark.
Will you guys be adding mechs to the game? That's a great feature people love apparently. Is there any plan to have Realm Royale's on every console? It's on PC, it's on Switch. Is there any plan for mobile?
Right now, a mobile port is not in the works. I wouldn't say it's outside the realm of possibilities, but right now,
I caught that one.
Yeah. How is the game coding to the new coder? Is it realistic to say that getting caught on bushes, rocks, blades of grass would be smoothed out over time? So
this is something where we definitely look into it. It's been something that's been reported for a while, and we're actively working on it. Whenever we get a specific example, like it's always helpful for us to have a video or a picture of the specific place where these kind of things happen, because it makes it a lot easier for us to go through, track down, and smooth that out, right? Even if it's 10 places, if he sent us 10 pictures, we could go and target those specific locations and get them fixed for you guys. But that is something that is ongoing. We just need specifics.
So actually, to reiterate on that, because whenever you've gotten DMs from me before when I get stuck on something, and actually, so I remember there was one by Goblin Gulch I got stuck on, and then there was also something I think by Waterfall I got stuck on, and the next patch they were both fixed. Will Realm continue to incorporate aspects from Smite or Paladins, and does it make it easier to add features?
Well, yeah, can you expand upon that? What do you think? Like, are you asking about if we would take things from Paladins?
I think that's what he's asking.
I mean, again, I think that since there's that idea, working pretty closely with Paladins, if there was something that we feel like, obviously a lot of the weapons, people from the beginning, you'd play certain characters in Paladins, you'd come over to Realm and be like, oh, I know that weapon. So there's precedent for us to take stuff from Paladins. So I'm not, I wouldn't say that we wouldn't, depending on what it was, really.
Actually, last time me and Peter played together, he actually expanded something pretty well. And then he explained, because people keep asking about new classes. you explained it. You explained to me
what did I explain?
no, I'm saying, you explained the process of why it's so hard to make another class when the whole process of the class, the abilities, the art, and how long it basically takes to. I'm making another lobby right here. To basically all the work that goes into making a new class.
Like just now or
No,
before?
you explained it. You explained it last time we played together before this.
Okay. Yeah. Because it's not just art. It's not like I make a model and then it drops in the game and all of a sudden like the VFX, the rigging and animation are there. You know what I mean? And also like the naming. Then it goes to the audio team also, who do all the voiceover work, and they have to hire an actor, a voice actor, to come in and do the voices and the sound effects. So it's a lot involved in just one asset of creation, or creation of one asset.
Okay, I see. I don't know this one. Was there ever a paladin class? I want to say what happened with the paladin class. I don't know. I don't remember a paladin class.
I think the warrior was the paladin.
There were two classes at one point last year that were in the works that never came to fruition. They're now in the game as skins, but there was a paladin and an alchemist at one point.
Okay, all right. That was a long time ago. I did see a question about, is there any word on Switch being able to disable crossplay?
I got that one. Just give me a sec. Sorry, I'm opening up the client.
No worries. Oh wait, Peter, you in this game?
Actually, I believe Junku is
It's a custom lobby.
working on some optimizations on that front and adding an option there. If whatever it ends up being, I will include in the update notes with details on how it works. But that is something that's on the team's radar.
I'd like to defend myself, chat. We open the game, we play a little, we look at the characters that we make, and then we close the game and we get back to work on more characters. Okay.
Is there any plans on being able to switch back to your dagger even after you pick up a weapon?
Oh, I like that one. I've always wished for that. Like if I don't want to reload and I just want to switch to a dagger to finish that. Yeah, that feels like that.
That's an interesting, it's an interesting idea. I mean, hey, but now you got the chicken peck.
That too.
That is true. What about something like a vehicle based, something like a dragon, or the ability to battle on a mount? Whoa, that's game changing.
Those ideas have been talked about a while ago. I don't know right now if that's within scope, but there was a time where vehicle combat was being discussed, but that was a while ago.
Okay, people keep asking about map changes. We already made a comment earlier that was it Alex? You said you would like to see the map get smaller. It's a little bit too big. Yeah. Now I don't know if that's something they're actually working on at the moment, but it's something that's obviously discussed. All right, guys. 45 seconds left.
Yeah, I have a question. What area of the map would you like to see get an update?
An update? Ooh. Yeah. You guys can answer too. Me personally, Guntown, and then I love the Lost Forge update. I think Lost Forge is awesome. But I think two that could use an update. Everyone's spamming. I would think I used to love Underpass personally. Underpass used to be my favorite. So I was
Deathmatch's favorite drop is Outpost. I see him in chat. A lot of Underpass in chat.
And Sentinel. So I was gonna ask, what's the thought process when you guys go into like what needs to be? Are you guys like looking at like the least drop spots to try and update and get people to them, or what made you guys decide to do Guntown and then now Lost Forge?
Yeah, the idea was that they were kind of looking at the stuff that was on the periphery, the stuff that's on the outside, and working our way in, right? We already know that there are certain areas that people drop all the time. So we were looking at the first round was like, what doesn't get dropped enough? What can we make into an interesting play space? So Lost Forge, Guntown were like pretty obvious to start.
Yeah, so if you guys are going by that, the two places I'd be looking at is like Underpass, because no one drops Underpass anymore ever since it's not a Forge anymore. And then I think one of the other spots that's not very popular is Goblin Gulch or Sentinel. I used to drop Sentinel all the time. That place is a ghost town. So Deathmatch said make teleports on the map so Underpass can be a Forge. So Deathmatch, you're talking about like having random spots where like you can walk into and you teleport to another part of the map, kind of like a rift.
Interesting idea.
That is an interesting idea.
What about more catapults?
Oh, I would love more catapults. I was actually going to suggest that. Because if you look, you can easily add one by Northport that can launch you towards crossing. You can even have one above Goblin Gulch. There's a couple spots you can add them in. Outside of Sentinel and launch you into Trinity.
I have a question that counters the counterpoint of that. You asked like what place could be updated. So what place do people think is like the best place now, so we can compare a possible update to?
I think the two best spots that people drop is Lumber or Crossing. Those are the two hardest drops in my opinion.
Well, they drop there because people drop there for kills. But which place is like awesome?
Oh, which place is awesome? Okay, that's okay. Which place is the best place just by what's the word? Yeah, let me open my questions back up.
Isn't Crippler the king of fungal?
Who? What you talking about?
I said Crippler.
Oh, Crippler, king of fungal? I don't know. We don't know which one's best, but the worst is Sentinel Hold. Add more chests. I agree. I'm getting shot at. Hold on, guys.
Sentinel Hold's a little spread out.
Thanks for the green slug.
I'm watching you, J Nash.
Is that you? Better not be. Remove chicken 1-up. Okay, I'm gonna give you guys a little statement on the chicken 1-up. And
tell them about your situation.
That's what shut up. So Peter was in my chat and I was actually kind of dogging the 1-up. Like, dude, this thing is, the only thing that's like really annoying. Ooh, the only thing that's like kind of annoying about the chicken 1-up is like I think it's chicken health. So if anything, change the color of it. And I was sitting there like, dude, I never even need this thing. And I had one game where I was just getting beat up and chicken and then of course I died and he goes, chicken 1-up would have helped you there, huh?
Yeah, I added that, and it was kind of an experiment. We never really had a rune like that. There is the idea that it would be something that you could just loot out of the chest, but I'm like, I want it to be a risk reward just to try it. And we might modify that, but my first implementation was like,
good try.
Let's make someone have to commit a rune slot and get an extra life. But admittedly, it's not super useful except when it is, right?
Oh, exactly. It's not useful unless you like you absolutely need it.
Please come kill me.
Whoever kills Mad Magnus gets a skin code. How's that for prizes?
It's fantastic.
Okay, people are saying, well, okay, what exactly do you want buffed on the warrior? Also, with the okay, dude, I'm trying to kill him. Leave me alone. Cause I already know what skin he rocks. Hold on.
Shut your mouth.
Oh, come here, boy. I swear, if I die, I quit. I uninstall this game right now.
Are you just trying to like win one of your own codes?
Yeah. Got him. You guys don't get a code.
Lovely. Come on, guys, you gotta be quicker.
Can we have it to where all runes each have a unique look, so that you can tell them just by looking at them?
Yeah, not a bad idea. It's
I think
we have to be creative sometimes in how we use our art assets for sure.
You guys can DM me on Twitch. Discord is probably easiest
to make art. So that's what they are for now, and we try to gather them up into I guess groupify their look.
There's always color shifts too. We could look at it, Right.
But I agree with that. Like sometimes I look and I'm like, where's that passive repair rune? It looks like the other ones.
You want me to rapid fire a few, Glock?
Sure, go ahead.
All right, Gene, any new abilities? Definitely something on the horizon. We'll have more announcements soon. Fireball, probably not. Let's see, something about crashes on Switch. Something that programming's looking into now. We're looking for logs so we can figure out exactly what's causing it. Seems to happen when you're in the Zeppelin or right before you hit the ground. Talent system be more customizable and RPG-like. Love the idea. Not sure about implementation. Would take a while. A lot of UI work. Alex Alessandro might be able to expand on that a little bit. Underpass can have a teleport. Who mentioned that? I think you came up with that idea, Deathmatch. You can't come up with one idea and then pitch why we can't do another idea. Come on, man. Underpass is definitely somewhere that's we're looking into, though, because it since it lost its forge, it definitely feels like it's lost a bit of reason. There's like almost no reason to go under there. There's a pretty high density of loot, though.
ask them about the wall loot getting stuck in the wall. Okay, there's.
Yeah, that's something. If you can give us specific examples, we find that tends to happen when you open certain chests, right? Like you open it and a piece of loot gets caught in there. Sometimes maybe when you eliminate someone, but if it's happening as a result of opening a chest, it might just be a matter of repositioning the chest itself. So if you send us pictures, that gives us somewhere to. Next to Phil, event or game mode. That sounds like a really cool idea. Introduced a lot of new gameplay stuff.
Is there actually is there any talk about bringing the deathmatch mode coming back? That was actually a very fun mode. I enjoyed that mode, and it actually was nice to go in there and warm up first before you got into your games.
I don't know about deathmatch specifically. I know there were a lot of issues that led to T-posing and A-posing that players found pretty frustrating.
Yeah, that happens.
Which one's better though? T-pose or A-pose?
I did T-pose.
Good form.
It almost looks like I'm trying to hug you. So I'm coming at you looking friendly, and I shoot you in the face.
Yeah, I think the A-pose is not as deliberate.
Exactly.
So yeah, I'd go for the T.
I don't know about the balcony, but yeah, the crouch bug is an issue. But the only way you can fix it, before we used to fix it with catapulting, but now it has to be used. But you have to use sword. You have to use a sword to fix it.
You just get stuck in the state where you can't crouch.
Yeah, and then you kind of skip around a little bit and ice skate. Jay Nash, why are you using a mic from the 1970s?
This isn't my desk, alright?
This isn't my desk.
I don't know. I'm looking around at the different players right now, and I gotta say, Senketsu's looking pretty good. There's also like other questions we could. I don't know if you just finished the question. Did I just interrupt?
Yeah. How did?
I don't know of a way to turn on the ping
on Xbox. Yes, yeah, I don't know about that.
Counter on console. It's F9 on PC. I don't think there's a key button.
Yeah, if you hit F9 on PC, it pops up right there, guys. You see it, FPS ping. Yeah. Oh, there's a good fight going on right here. We play PvP, not PvE. Put orc skins on bots, so it's not just a random person shooting. Oh. You mean making bots look different so you know they're a bot?
It's an interesting idea for sure.
Yeah, we have definitely for a while. There's been a lot of internal discussion about.
Come on, Senketsu, my money's on you.
So.
Yeah, my guy just lost, so.
Those axes are scary.
Okay,
that sound is scary.
Here's a question that I'm interested in. Is there any assassin bundles being worked on?
Very nice movement. Assassin bundles?
I didn't think that you guys liked Assassin skin.
Oh, you better get out of here. Better stop it. Someone had a good suggestion that you could put like gamer glasses on one of them just for no reason.
G2, I don't think anything like that explicitly will help with that situation. It's as soon as it's an option, we will be sure to do what we can and announce we have more.
Ooh,
very nice.
Ooh,
very nice. That's my boy right there.
All right.
You guys aren't watching Mr. Baco. He's coming up. He's still alive.
Is there a problem with people that vape?
No, it's just like I don't do it, but he tells everyone I do it all the time.
I was gonna say because I vape mainly because I quit smoking cigarettes, so I don't smell like an ashtray.
I mean, I see big clouds coming from Jay Nashty's cube, so I don't know what he's talking about.
It might not be a vape, just saying.
That's true.
Someone did say something about has there been any talk of changing the sound of footsteps between teammates and enemies because people say they can get confusing? I never had that issue, but I don't know if you guys have heard people complain about that before.
We have. There was a time when we did an audio pass, and there were a few issues that had popped up, and most have been resolved. They were resolved pretty quickly. But there was a time when friendlies and enemies sounded very similar, and I think it's almost like a residual effect where once it happened, it's hard to stop on hearing it. Where friendlies should be of a slightly higher pitch and lower volume that should differentiate them from enemies. But I can totally understand from some players how they sound similar. I can bring up the feedback, but in terms of having like an option, I don't even know really what you do. You'd end up in like some wonky situations where friendly's footsteps don't sound like anything.
There he is.
That's at all. So I don't know, I can bring it up.
Here comes my boy Pat.
Yeah, Adverse Snap. We sort of brought that one up earlier. Mastery rewards are something that would be cool, but I don't know that that's in scope right now.
Good hit.
I actually like that question. I was just asking this question I want to know too. It's is there any talks of Jay Nash? These streams coming back soon?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe, probably.
Ooh. I'm just saying.
It's close. It's close.
They already talked about that. Oh, and there's talk of female skins or models. Yeah, people keep asking about can we have more quests like weekly challenges? Give us something to grab to the battle pass. That's kind of like something that I always said that I like, because like right now, I mean, you guys know that. I think Jay Nash knows. I've been off work for the last 2 months because so I've had a lot of time to play, and I finished that battle pass quick. So if there was something else to keep grind for other than the battle pass, is there any talks about challenges or?
Right. Yeah. I've definitely looked at adding more interesting and kind of more specific challenges to the game.
Yeah, and then I mean, suggestion, maybe make them class specific to get people playing other classes.
Also, I wanted to say before, I think Alex and Josh might have some insight on their own particular field of study, but I'd also answer questions about like how to get a job in the industry as an artist, and also if anybody wants to put links in your Discord somewhere, I guess you could designate where I can look at portfolios and give feedback.
There you go.
Maybe not on stream, but privately, separately.
Oh, that's fine. Yeah, if you guys want to do that on my Discord, there's a self promo section and I have like, so he said if you have a portfolio for like art, like is there a specific kind of artist or?
Can I submit my stick figure drawings?
Yes.
Okay, here's a question that I get asked a lot, Jay Nash. This is probably a question for you. People keep asking about Realm partner applications.
Yeah, right now they are closed because we're at capacity. We have about 200 partners globally, so we are trying to work to ensure that we are maintaining consistency with the people we have in the program and work closely with them and try to find better ways to make that relationship mutualistic, where the partners themselves are benefiting from working alongside us as a dev team. So I will look into reopening the applications. I just want to make sure that I am reviewing the program and best offering partners the benefits that they feel benefit them as well. Right now, you cannot apply through the official avenue, but that doesn't mean it'll always be closed. It was just recently closed. We just needed to slow down applications for a bit. There was a time when I had 500 sitting on my plate, and I had a few I had more than a few tasks to take care of on top of that, so I was just making it manageable.
Okay. Someone asked, is there a plan to have bot free ranked queues? Did we already talk about that?
I think we sort of touched base on adding more queues would further split the player base, which is something we're trying not to do right now, but it's definitely something that we can look into.
How do you and the other developers feel about the sore spots? What is the sore spots?
It's referring to
where you can get up to and other people can't get?
Yes. Right now, I know there are a few areas where it can be problematic, but I guess the fact that all classes can use SOAR alleviates a bit of that pain, and we're also looking into some potential other means. I'll leave it there. Some potential other means to access some of those same areas.
Listen, guys, the fact that I have self-conk back means I can self-conk and get up to wherever you are now, so just saying. I think I added Jay Nash within like an hour of that update and said, you tell whoever brought that back I love them.
Oh, you're welcome.
Oh, thank you so much.
Yep.
All right, Glock. What does a Glock skin look like?
A Glock skin? Is that what you said? A Glock skin? Okay. So we were talking about this earlier, which actually is kind of funny. I was like, I'm not so up on the assassin skin being a Glock skin, but I would love to have a chicken holding a Glock, and then he pistol whips when he pecks you. Very simple. I think it's very simple to do. Just put
That's very expensive. What are you talking about?
put a gun in his hand, and when he instead of pecking, just like the wiener skin, just whack with the pistol whip.
Get on that, Pete.
Just saying, that's easy. That's I expect that in OB22. Okay, get on it, Peter. Any spoilers about OB22 that won't get you in trouble?
So I know a guy who I used to work with on Hand of the Gods who loves spoilers, and I was always the poopy CM because I always like avoid spoilers like the plague. So no.
Any content you can give a small tasting of? I mean, I think they've actually given us a lot to think about already. Thor mage skin. Thor already has a hammer in the game. He can't even land a shot with.
As a mage, like a gender bent Thor.
Okay, hold on. Can I add something since we have everyone in here? I have actually gotten people that have asked me like why me and Thor don't like each other because of that video. I'm like, you guys know that was all a joke, right? Like,
oh no, I just figured Thor didn't like anyone.
Oh no, Thor is just he's just a walking meme. Yeah. It's better not be who I think it is.
Who do you think it is?
You? I think I'm about to die to you. I'm gonna uninstall, like I said. Oh my gosh, I'm gonna peck you with my wiener. Hold on.
No, that's not me.
Okay, cool. Oh, I chickened him! This is why chicken fight is in the game, guys. I'm about to die still, though. Oh no! Sorry. Yeah, chicken again. I couldn't get him. My gun. I think guns should be reloaded as soon as you die. Just saying. No, I'm just playing. Third party. I'm about to die again. Where's my chicken 1-up rune? Any plans to allow us to drop and disenchant runes we don't want to accidentally pick up? Have you guys thought about that? Maybe being able to drop a rune, even though I think personally if you're able to drop runes and pick whatever you want, there could be some really OP people at the end of the game.
Yeah, so that feedback's been around since runes were first introduced to the game, and I think when we actually considered it for a little while, one of the compromises that we came with is that if you dropped a rune, it would destroy it on dropping. Otherwise, you could just pass around, you know, the passive repair rune, that sort of thing. But I don't know, maybe Alex has some thoughts on that.
I have a question.
Right now it's balanced towards not being able to disenchant runes. Oh yeah, it's just that the game isn't balanced towards that right now. So it'd be kind of hard to start reworking that because I think it's in a decent place where the runes are at.
Shard cap increase. I think 200 is actually pretty generous. Once you are maxed out, shards can still disenchant items and leave it in the shard stack.
That was something that used to exist in the game, and I think right now it's actually it kind of feels almost strategic. Like if you're going to do that, then you have to plan ahead for it. Like this, it's kind of like rage disenchanting, right? Like I don't want anybody else to get this.
That's you know, I say that all the time, so I will purposely like pick up a weapon and go drop it off in a corner somewhere because I don't want somebody else to get it.
Right.
I do that all the time because I'll leave like a gold slug laying around because I have a gold heirloom. I don't want someone to get that.
I actually thought it'd be cool to share shards, like drop them like items for your teammates.
Yeah, that one's been feedback for a while too. Yeah, I don't know, Alex. Maybe you have some thoughts on that ability to drop and share.
It's something we can look into.
Any skins you guys are planning to not bring back? Probably. I think you talked about it before about the battle pass skins not coming back.
No, you can do a shared shard pool. You'd end up with some guy that just crafts everything.
Buff the sword. The sword, Melvin. The sword does not need to be buffed. The sword. Ooh, here you go. Hey, if you're watching my screen, here you go, Jay Nash. I don't know if you guys already know about this one. Here you go. Perfect timing.
What about a hold more shard ability or rune?
Hold more shard rune? Ooh.
Or, I mean, it seems like a better fit for talents for me personally. Actually, where I'm at right now, I see a concussion bomb stuck in the wall. Looks like it couldn't have come out of its chest. Must have been someone got popped while they were vaulting. make the sword throwable. If he threw it, it'd have to have a reload time. I think. And even then, I don't think it really makes sense.
All right, I gotta ask. Me personally, I love what has been done to the axe, because it absolutely makes, you cannot miss your shot, but it absolutely hits like a truck. How do you guys feel about the recent axe nerf?
I felt that something was necessary. During my stream, that used to be one of the most frustrating weapons to get up against. Is just hear that,
Right.
There's you just spam it over and over. But
yeah, I'm glad that you enjoy the change. Yeah, I made that change to kind of go in line with what I feel like an axe should be. I felt like when I got into the game, it was way too fast, so I wanted it to be powerful but slow. So I know there's some complaints about it, but I just feel like I agree it feels better now.
This is the perfect time for a chicken one-upper, and look at this chat. Bam. There you go. I really like this question right here, because I absolutely agree with it. Is there any chance of a second forge being guaranteed legendary or an upgrade purple to a legendary option? Game would have a lot more viable loadouts and things like the fire axe. Hold on, fire axe, frost ice staff, and others were able to be forged more frequently because the purple counterparts are worse than gray and neutral items. Well, my thing was, I personally sometimes I have a loadout of a purple sniper, purple heirloom, and I go to make a forge, and it makes me another purple heirloom or sniper rifle. So it's like I just wasted 90 shards.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Josh?
sorry, I was just getting.
I love that. I love that.
I don't think a guaranteed upgrade. So, all right, I know this isn't the answer you're going to want to hear, but I promise it makes. In Battle Royales, there is a certain degree of RNG that you expect, right? Otherwise, it would just turn into, I know the map rotation, I'm just going to do it to get the guns I want, and every game is going to turn out exactly the same. I'm going to have the same abilities, same movement abilities, same weapons, etc. Like, there's always that RNG that you want that makes each game unique. Otherwise, it's going to get pretty stale pretty quick. So, having the ability to upgrade an item's rarity has been around as feedback for the longest time, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. I definitely like the idea of trying to tinker around with that and see how it plays, but being so selective at the forge where you can choose everything you're going to get every time, I don't think is as good or healthy as feedback might suggest sometimes. But we definitely are looking into new means. Like, we're trying to revamp the forge and make it a little more exciting, look into different options that we have with the forge. So I can tell you that, but I won't give you the specifics just yet.
Is there any connection between the color of potion chests and the pots that appear when you open them? I noticed that I can 85% of the time get the potions that match the concentration and color.
No.
I agree, but it's a giveaway.
I've never noticed that.
You kind of want to loot it. Like, sometimes there's a green glow, sometimes there's a yellow glow, sometimes there's both.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought in the beginning when I started playing it was an association with what's in it, but
I've
it's
never
not. They're just both glowing.
Frost and the sword. You guys are sword mains, dude. Please Q snipe me later. I welcome that.
I think the idea with the sword having frost was that it's supposed to be relatively difficult to get right on top of someone to slice them anyway, compared to the other weapons, since they have a little bit of range, especially the axe, which can be arced pretty far. So if you get up onto them, it's kind of like a reward for having done so and slowing them down. But admittedly, there was a time where it was too easy to use the sword.
When can we expect the nearest patch notes show? Are you guys able to announce like a time frame on the next patch?
Oh snap! Someone is deadly with a sniper rifle. Expect another patch show?
Yeah, I don't know. Janice, you're still there? Is he ignoring me?
He's answering some G chats. He's doing some work.
No, he's ignoring you.
He's ignoring you.
I'm sorry. What were we doing?
Someone was asking about, is there a time frame for the next update show?
Not just yet. If and when we will announce it, I would imagine we're going to do a show though. So just hang out for more details. We'll definitely announce it.
So you guys got that one guy on there. I don't remember his name. He was on your last update show. People were asking when Gl0ck's gonna be on your show.
Are you talking about the blonde hair?
Yeah, that blonde hair guy. Yeah.
The voices.
Yeah. People were asking when Gl0ck's gonna be invited to Atlanta.
We came to your channel.
Yeah, I can come to your channel.
New consumable, Dorn? Not immediately.
You see how
I
he,
think
he totally ghosted me, guys. You guys saw that?
Who? So with a new consumable, Dorn, there's nothing like that in the works right now, I don't think. But there was a time when we were talking about different, essentially sizes of potions, but I don't think that has made it to fruition. Some sort of heal over time, I think, was another one, but or like a damage boost or something like that. But I don't think anything like that's in the works at the moment.
Dorn said, "Thank you for answering my questions, and thank you all to all the devs for today." Does the chicken 1-up rune right now have an increased drop rate?
No, it doesn't. The thing I took out was the I took out the other rune, so it might just seem like you get it more, but I took out the revive rune, so
Yeah, the revive rune is gone. Oh, is it possible to make the spectator crosshair similar in position to the player so that we can get more accurately see where the player is aiming? I do not.
I can bring it up to programming, but there are already sort of a few known issues with the spectator, and that like every now and then I get reports of people being invisible, but it's like they were invisible when you started spectating them, and they just look invisible. And I can see a few issues popping up if we put the crosshair on it. But that said, I can check. I don't think it would be impossible, but I can check.
I called it. Antonio.
Get out of here, dude. He third-partied that.
Didn't I call both of the winners?
What about adding like a loot troll that has like 3 times health as a goblin, but only in squads, so it takes a team effort to kill?
I saw that. I don't like. Essentially, what we'd have to do if we're gonna do something like that is just make a bigger
chicken
loot
kills
goblin.
you. I swear.
I don't.
Good job.
Add much.
So Crippler's saying, oh not Crippler, I'm sorry, Filer's saying, when will clipping on things that you shouldn't be clipping on be fixed? Basically, he's saying saying that fight right there, he got stuck on the building. So.
Yeah, so that's one of the things I was sort of talking about earlier, where in that bug reports channel in the Discord server, if you could just share pictures or link us to videos where you've run into that kind of thing, it makes it a lot easier for us to go through and find areas that are problems and smooth out those surfaces. But yeah.
Melvin,
just getting a report isn't gonna help too much.
Melvin, I swear, are you really talking about building in Realm? Are you serious? That's why I play Realm and not the other game.
Also, I see we got 160 people in here almost. We got
not necessarily a copy thing, but Blackout had something sort of like that, and it literally took minutes to kill, but it would draw other teams and make a massive fight. Good loot. 4-3 aspect ratio.
Joke. I'm not sure that 4-3. Essentially, when you go and optimize games for different resolutions, you have to go through and map out what the UI looks like. Adds a lot of work, a lot of programming and UI work, and right now I don't know if 4.3 is going to be something we prioritize, simply because that's a little older. 21:9 runs into some of the same issues, honestly, but it's something we can look into. It's something I'll bring up. I just don't know what the likelihood of that getting addressed anytime soon is.
Third ability slot, no.
Third ability slot, we don't have any information on right now. Destructible buildings, all right, Dorn. All right.
That's so
rework the game from the ground up.
So essentially, yeah, that's like an engine level
okay.
rework. I don't think it's a bad idea. I'm just saying, like, the amount of work that would go into something like that is just like so far out of scope.
So here's a good question that I actually forgot to ask earlier. So like people ask about tournaments all the time. We have RealmCom usually every Saturday, community man tournaments, stuff like that. Is there any plan that Hi-Rez plans on putting on any kind of tournaments anytime soon?
Immediately, I do not know of talks about that.
Okay. Do you guys work with Realm Tracker at all, or is that just somebody else that does that?
Realm Tracker is a third-party site. Same with Realm.gg, and essentially anything that pulls stats or not cards, it's more paladins, but pulls information from our game. They work with an API, our API, and they pull data from that. So it is not affiliated with us, but they are a third party, and we work with.
Okay,
Like
so,
we work with them to ensure that the site is functioning as they, intend.
yeah, I know Eddie Mouse sometimes has a problem filling them, so
Yeah, we got like
it's a good
got some slots here.
it's a good example. If you guys get in, there's no password protected. If you guys want to play and get in here, the winner of the lobby wins the code.
You could even stream snipe. He doesn't mind.
I don't care right now about stream sniping, but
And then in
did
5-10 minutes, I'll let you know where I'm at.
a Hi-Rez employee just encourage stream sniping, J Nash?
Peter.
What happened? I said he didn't mind.
Before I joined this, this event, I was literally having a meeting about stream snipers and how we're going to deal with them.
I basically said this game is technically a beta game. We are basically testing this game, technically speaking. So
yep.
It's as far as the beta.
And I think people forget that we are it's not a full-on release game. We are basically almost testing the game. So,
and Dorn sort of related to what we're talking about. Yeah, I sort of mentioned earlier, like the Paladin and Alchemist last year were classes that were in the works and ultimately didn't come to fruition. They ended up being released as skins, but there's still a bank of abilities that aren't currently being used that may come up.
I don't. Maybe you guys, because you guys are in the video game industry, you guys can explain to me how is Fortnite still a beta game? That makes no sense to me.
Probably because it's constantly changing.
I don't have any insight in their development or anything. I would
say maybe. I don't know. Can we bring back Ice Wall?
No.
That was never moved. It was never used.
The loot pool to give an ability that no one wanted it.
No one ever used Ice Wall, so
All right, y'all. I got a dip, but let's try and do this again. This is fun.
I appreciate you being here and everything,
Alex,
guys. I really do. I really do appreciate it.
All right, you guys have a good one.
Have a good one, man.
I decided to do one more. I need to win, or at least kill someone, because I have not done that.
Have you not killed somebody at all yet? Oh no! I killed Peter. I'm happy. I haven't got a chance to kill. I've actually never seen J Nash in a game, and the thing was, I'm shocked I never have because I normally am. I am one that plays a lot of solos. So people were asking. So number one, someone asked me, how the heck did I get Hi-Rez devs to do what we're doing right now and answer Q&A and stuff like that? I was like, number one, actually, it was kind of Peter's idea, but basically, Peter made a comment about it. Basically, he played with me. He was able to answer a bunch of art questions and stuff like that, and people seemed to really like it. Then he told me to shoot the message J Nash's way, and basically all I did was I asked and said, "Hey, what do you think about this idea?" What other game company does that?
All I was thinking about was just how much I love the community. Sorry, push to talk sucks.
You're good.
All I was thinking about when I brought it up was how much I love the community and how transparent I want to be without getting sued. You know what I mean? And also ways I could help in any other way. Like if people are looking for jobs, because I had a hard time with when I started out in game dev or trying to be an artist for video games. It's extremely hard to get a job. So having somebody to point you on the right path is a time and lifesaver.
Yep.
Outpost forgery, except for Self Kong, which is back, baby.
There are companies that if you fit the position, they will help you relocate if you need the assistance. And I don't think we have a problem saying that out loud, but Hi-Rez is one of those places. If they're trying to hire somebody, they're spending all this money to get the talent in here, and they fit the role.
Yeah.
They'll help.
I moved from Miami.
Oh, you came from Miami? Okay.
I moved from Philly.
I might move from California. What?
We'd use you in playtest.
Hey, there you go. Are you guys hiring streamers for work for Hi-Rez?
There was a point where Hi-Rez did. I don't know if they're currently still doing that, because along with being a streamer and having popularity, you still need to fill in the job requirements.
Would I be better than Idiot Mouse if I had more time? 100%. You guys notice
in your chat right now?
Yes, he is. I'm not scared of that guy. He only lives an hour away from me. If he wants to come say hi, he can come say hi. I think. Oh wait, what is it? Me?
Say hello to my little friend.
There's not many California players in Realm, and so I know why Idiot Mouse likes to use spammy weapons like the bolt staff. When there will be a community representatives as in paladins. What are we talking about?
I know, like the Assembly of Champions, where the community votes in a group of people and they give feedback. I mean, right now that's not something Realm has. It's not really something we're working on.
I think this is the last game with the devs. I think Peter, you leave after this one too.
I could probably stick around. I mean,
a zombie skin or anything Halloween related in the works. Jane, I thought you took that ice staff. I was like, what?
Yeah, I'm on the Glock shot.
Hey.
I don't have a cock bomb.
Hey, peck him with your wiener, dude.
I tried. All right, I gotta go.
All right, Jane Ash. I appreciate it. Thank you for coming out.
Pat gets a code.
Pat gets a code. All right, Pat gets a code.
All right. Well,
here's one last question, Jane Ash.
Yeah, sure.
This is actually a pretty good question. How do you guys feel about adding small forges in unnamed locations only for forging pots or resurrections, or maybe just pots? Interesting.
Something to think about. But Josh has to go.
Whoever
in terms of the map, it might get a little cluttered, but yeah.
Whoever danced on Jane Ash's band. All right. All right, Jane Ash. Thank you. I appreciate your time.
Hang on, Josh. I'd like to say to everybody that this was an idea between Glock and I. We just fished it up, and I want to thank Alex and Josh for agreeing to come on and
absolutely
answer these questions and talk to you guys. Give them a big digital round of applause.
Yes, at them on Twitter and tell them you love them. I appreciate it.
Yeah, well, I'm always happy to do this, and we'll be in touch. So
absolutely.
Do something else that's fun sometime soon. So.
Absolutely.
Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.
Later, Josh.
Later, Josh.
Why you came, where did I go?